What's happening, everybody? Boy Big Brando, and you are now looking at the Heat Press Nation True Spec Heat Press. This is their newest 16x20 heat press, and this thing is built like a tank. It has a lot of new features, brand new design, and it's built for production. Let me show you a few of the features that I like, and then also let's get into unboxing and setting this thing up.
Yo, check it out, man. Standing right here with the brand new Heat Press Nation True Spec Heat Press. 16x20, removable, interchangeable bottom platens, slide out drawer. You guys already know this is a function that I love, and this thing is built robust. When I say robust, this thing is a tank. You can see how everything looks. Branding on this thing looks good. Colorway obviously looks good. You guys already know I'm a dark kind of guy, so dark gray with the black, easy call. Slide out drawer, big time move, and the cancellation button. Pop this thing down. You guys all see me hit the back of the press. Now it's right here on the top of the press. Easy release. One of the other things that they fixed on this thing is now the auto open is not as loud, not as aggressive as it was before. When I used to press with the Signature Pro, you guys know that I used to keep my hand on the handle when the auto open would pop up, just to override that auto open because it's so aggressive. This thing, a lot better, a lot easier to actually pop up and actually use it as a true auto open. So I could go over here, work and prep more shirts while this thing's pressing, and when this thing pops up, it's not gonna shake everything off. Easy call, very quiet, very easy to do. This thing is awesome.
All right, here you go. The True Spec new Heat Press Nation heat press is live in my shop. Let's unbox this thing and see how this actually works. So when you're opening this thing up, you'll notice there's a box inside of a box. Way I'm doing this thing is I'm basically cutting the box open because it's almost impossible to lift the press out of the box and slide it out. So I thought, let me just cut the walls off of the box, expose the press, and make it easier for me to grab this thing and get a good grip because it is pretty heavy. I believe it's like 120, 130 pounds, something like that. This thing comes in two boxes. So the box that's on the table right there is the platen and the control box. The box that I'm cutting open right now is basically the frame and the top platen, the actual heating element. So here I am removing the foam, seeing where I could get a good grip on this thing. And like I said, it's pretty heavy. I'm operating by myself, which is probably a dumb move. It would be better if you had a friend to help you out, but I was able to get it up on this table right here. Let me discard the box, and this is what it looks like wrapped up, sitting on top of my table. Let me unwrap this thing for you guys so you can actually see what it looks like. There is a little yellow thing on there that has a little wing nut that says you have to remove it in order for it to pop open. So I removed that. Now I'm cutting open the second box. Second box, like I said, is the computer of the whole thing. It's the top part that has the screen. It's basically the control box. This is what it looks like in there. And then the bottom platen is right below it. So you have to assemble this thing, but it's pretty easy and pretty plug and play, I guess you can say. Everything is color coded. There's only 4 wires that you connect to the bottom. Once you plug those babies in, don't do like I did and I have the power cord kind of sticking out the front. I forgot, I need to plug that in, stick that in the bottom and feed it through the bottom. So don't mind my sweaty head blocking the camera right here. I'm just trying to make sure that everything lines up properly. While doing so, I forgot to actually connect 2 of the wires. So here I am going back in to connect the last 2 wires and make sure everything works. Now I could screw everything in. These little screws come pre-assembled on the control box. You take them out, fit it into the frame, and then you just screw everything back in. There goes my sweaty head again. Now everything's looking right the way it's supposed to, and we're ready to go. Now we turned it on and we're gonna set it up for 320 degrees. I really wanted to see how long it takes to actually get to its cruising temperature to start pressing a shirt. It was about 8 to 10 minutes from turning it on setting it to 320 and letting it do its thing. Usually every morning when I get in here, I just turn the presses on, I do something else, and by the time I come back, it's ready to go. This is one of the first times that I actually timed it, and it took just about 10 minutes. All right, let's try this thing out. We're using Shock-Aware active t-shirts. We're gonna lay the t-shirt all the way over the edge. Pull down on the armpits on both sides. Pre-press. This is just gonna flatten out the t-shirt, get rid of any moisture. Here's the transfer. We're using Supacolor Transfers. We're going 4 fingers down, 4 of my fingers right here. It's about 3 inches. And I'm going based in the peak and the collar, where the collar meets the body of the shirt. I'm going straight down from there is where I'm gonna lay the center of my transfer. And we're gonna press it in. Heat press is set up to 320 degrees, 15 seconds. And we're using heavy pressure. On this press, the pressure setting is 8. Hot peel. And we're gonna press it down for another 3 seconds. Now let's do the back. Same exact thing. We're gonna lay this t-shirt, front of the collar goes all the way over the edge. Pull down on the armpits on both sides. This is gonna make sure that it's nice and even and straight. Here's our transfer. Since the collar's all the way over the edge, I'm gonna place the transfer pretty close to the top here. This is going to ensure that the back print lands right inside of the shoulder blades and straight down. Push it in. "15 seconds. And we're using Supacolor wearable transfers, so it's a hot peel. And like I said, an extra 3 seconds. Done. And here's a few things that are kind of notable about this press right here is it does not come with this non-stick cover. This is something that you're gonna have to buy separately from Heat Press Nation. I put them on my presses because I use a lot of film transfers. You guys know I use a lot of Supacolor. This helps get rid of a lot of the static that comes with those transfers. Also, this base cover right here. This isn't standard on this press either. Highly recommend picking up one of these from Heat Press Nation also. I put these on all of my presses. This covers up that rubber pad that's underneath here. If you know anything about laying t-shirts directly on that rubber pad, you know that the friction causes it to really get stuck on there. So I like to put these on just to slide the shirts on and off pretty easily. You could buy these in 16 by 20, 15 by 15, same with the non-stick cover. You could actually get these in 15 by 15 or 16 by 20. They fit on top of the press just like a bed sheet. Same exact thing for the bottom. These have elastic on the bottom. Pull it off, put it on. You can pick these up at Heat Press Nation also. All right, there you have it. That's the Heat Press Nation True Spec Heat Press. That's the setup, that's the unboxing, that's the actual using it to put a t-shirt through. For myself, I still need to test this thing out. I want to put it through its paces. I have a big 150 piece hoodie order that I need to do for a client. So I'm going to really put it through its paces. Some of the notable things that I really like about it is the pressure setting. Having that visual readout on the screen is cool, where it's like P2, P6, P8, whatever it is. I know if I'm doing heavy pressure on a t-shirt, I set it to P8. If I'm gonna be doing some hoodies next, I know I could back it off and go to P6. Having that little readout, very cool for myself. Now, is this press for everybody? I would say no. Can anybody use it? Yes. But to me, the Signature Series line, that press is made for anybody and everybody. It's good for beginners. It's good for seasoned veterans also. I've had my Signature press, the 15x15, for years now, over 10 years. And then the Signature Pro 16x20 I've had for years. I've put thousands on top of thousands on top of thousands of t-shirts through these things, no issues. And that's kind of why I stand behind the Heat Press Nation name when it comes to heat presses. Obviously it's in their name, but their presses are built to last. They work with no issues, no hiccups, no nothing. And the best part is customer service. If you ever do have an issue, they have spare parts there. They will help you troubleshoot through any issues you have, because they actually back up the presses that they sell, which is really dope to me. I've never had an issue. I've never had to call them for any kind of customer support like that. And that shows how well the presses are made. Now, to me, heat presses work like this. And I could be wrong, and this is just a personal opinion. But heat presses to me work like if a press costs $200 versus a press that costs $2,000. The one that's $200 it'll work, but it's not built for production. The $2,000 press is built for high production. I'm talking about putting thousands of shirts through that thing. There's presses for all price ranges and all budgets, but that's the only difference to me. Yeah, there's features, auto open and, digital readouts and stuff like that. That kind of stuff helps slide out drawers, but it all comes down to production for myself. And like I said, I might be wrong about this, but this is how I see heat presses. It just might be that the $2,000 press is built to just turn on in the morning and put thousands of shirts through that thing throughout the day without turning it off once. Whereas the smaller presses or the $200 press probably can't handle that type of volume, because the heating element will start to have cold spots and stuff like that, because it's not built for high production. Now, the Signature Pro or Signature Series line of presses, to me, is really, really dope, because you can put a ton of shirts through it. You could do 100, 150 shirts in one sitting. In my experience, once you get to that 200, 300 mark, that's where you'll start to notice some cold spots here and there. But at that point, after 150 shirts, it's time for a break anyways. That's when I'll turn the press off, let it cool down. I'll take a break, drink a beer, go have lunch, just not touch the press. And then I'd come back after the break is done, turn the press back on, do another 150 shirts. It works just like that. So you have to be honest with yourself and say, what type of production are you doing? It's cool to shoot for the stars and really dream big and be like, well, I plan on doing thousands of shirts. Cool. But if you're not doing that right away, you really don't need to, break the bank and buy a press in hopes that you're going to get the work. For me, it's just buy the Signature Pro or Signature Series press, actually get your feet wet, get your customers up, get your reps in, go through the motions of actually creating the shirts, using the heat press, get your clientele up, make sure you can handle the production, and then if you need to, upgrade later. Look how long it's taken me to upgrade. For myself, I've been rocking with the Signature Series presses forever now. And to me, the upgrades that I wanted were more for production. Having that auto open feature where it's not a really aggressive auto open. If you are operating in your garage and you don't care about the loud pop and stuff like that, then that press is perfectly fine. For myself, I have 4 presses in here, and if they're all popping loud at the same time when all 4 are on, it gets old and it gets loud very, very fast. So for myself and anybody else that works in this shop, they all do the same thing and put their hand on the handle and just override that auto open feature. because it's so aggressive. Having this press now, where it doesn't pop open as aggressive and as loud, it can actually operate the way it's supposed to, where I can press it down, turn around, prep the next shirt, get the next transfer ready. While it pops open, I could press it back down to get that second press in, and I'm done. Having those features makes sense to me. Do they make sense to you? Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But for myself, these are the things that I wanted out of this press. Outside of having a really strong handle, and everybody in my shop that actually works in this shop all tried it out, women also, and everybody can actually clamp that thing closed because that handle has 2 spaces for your hand to actually get some leverage and press that thing down, which is pretty cool too. So outside of like the fancy stuff, the really cool laser cutouts of the branding, that looks nice. The colorway really looks nice. The functions to me is what I really care about. Having the touch screen and the big display and readout, all that stuff is cool. That's an extra for me. But functionality wise, that's what I like. You could thread the shirt on, has a slide out drawer, has a pressure readout, and the auto open feature actually works the way it's supposed to, and it does not hurt anybody's ears. And also, when I was pressing at home in that little room, I used to have tools on my wall, and when the auto open would go up, it would shake the wrenches off of my wall, and that's just because of how aggressive it was coming up. But now, not so much. So if you want to check this thing out, I'll leave links for everything in the description box for you guys. I'm pretty sure Heat Press Nation is going to do a way better video than I did to show you all the ins and outs and all the specs of this thing. But for my own hands-on experience, this was the upgrade that I was looking for, and I'm glad I was able to upgrade. I still have my Signature Series presses. They still will be used here, but I'm looking at getting another True Spec in here just to beef up my production. All right? If you have any questions, make sure you leave it in the comments for me. Let me know what you think about this press. Let me know if you're going to be upgrading. Let me know if this is an upgrade that you're interested in, or if it meets any of the criteria that you have for a heat press when upgrading, or if they missed out on some stuff. Let me know if there's something on there that you don't see that you wish they did put on there. Follow me on Instagram if you wanted to, Big Brando TV. Catch you guys on the next one, man. Yeah.